Welcome aboard. I'm Michelle, and today we're doing a Yoga for Pilots special. This is for low back and hip relief. And honestly, pilots spend an enormous amount of time sitting in very specific positions. Even though aviation may look exciting from the outside, the body experiences a lot of compression, stillness, bracing, monitoring, and repetitive posture, especially through the lower back, hips, hip flexors, glutes, and the upper back. Because pilots are very good at functioning while uncomfortable, sometimes tension builds gradually until one day the body says, actually, we should probably address this. So today, we're focusing on decompression, creating space, supporting the hips and the spine, and helping the body move in directions that it doesn't get much access to in the cockpit. No forcing, no performance, no judgment. Just practical recovery for pilot bodies. Okay, come to a comfortable seat. You can be sitting on your bed, you can be in the hotel room, you can be at home, you can be on a yoga mat like I am. Wherever it is, just sit down comfortably, crisscross applesauce one way or another, and take a slow inhale and an easy exhale. Maybe you notice immediately where the body feels tightest today. For me, it's the low back and the hips, maybe a little bit in the front of the thighs. Very understandable after long periods of sitting. Take another easy breath here. Allow your belly to soften slightly. Oh. Notice where you're holding tension. Pilots can often spend a lot of time subtly bracing through the core and the spine without even realizing it. So we're beginning by letting the body downshift a little. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to a pelvic reset. Lie down comfortably with the knees bent, knees pointing up towards the sky, feet comfortably on the ground. As you exhale, gently flatten the low back towards the floor. And as you inhale, allow a small natural arch to return. Again, exhale, flatten gently, lower back kisses the earth. Inhale, soften back to your natural resting position. Cockpit posture tends to hold the pelvis fairly repetitive in positions for very long periods of time. So we're helping the low back and the hips move again gradually. So a few more slow repetitions here. Exhale, low back presses down. Inhale, release. No forcing. Tiny movements, they still matter. Okay. Moving on to cat-cow, we're going to come to a hands and knees position. Sitting back up. Moving forward. Hands under shoulders. Knees under hips. As you inhale, let the chest move forward as the belly drops down towards the ground. Head rises up, gaze can go up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, we're going to wave the spine, so tucking the tailbone, similar to that motion we just did on our backs, but allowing it to come all the way through. So we're arching our spine like a scared cat. This is cat position. You can also imagine an invisible string is tied to the center of your spine and it's pulling your spine up towards the ceiling. Let the head drop heavy here. Let the neck relax. Inhale, belly drops back down, shoulders away from the ears, head comes back up. Exhale, rounding the spine, head drops down, neck softens, pressing the fingers into the ground. Take a few more rounds of the same movement with your breaths. Inhale, belly comes forward, head comes up, shoulders tuck back. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, back arches, head drops, hands press into the ground. One more just like that with your breath. Inhale, cow. Exhale for cat. Great. Come back to a seated position. Now, pilots often spend several hours with minimal spinal movements. So even something as small as what we just did can really make a big difference over time to get the stiffness out. So this is less about stretching deeply and more about restoring mobility, breathing naturally, signaling to the body that it's okay to relax. Next, moving on to a hip flexor stretch. We'll come up to our knees, placing one leg forward in a low lunge position. Hands can rest on the thigh or even on a bed or the wall if you need balance support here. You might immediately feel the front of the hip awakening. That's what's happening for me. If you don't quite feel a stretch here, then you can scoot your foot forward a little bit and lean into it. One of the important things here for protecting our joints is we want to make sure that our knee is aligned with our ankle here. You should feel a nice stretch through the front of the hip here. And just take deep and easy breaths. One of the things we're doing here with our breathing is we're signaling to our body that it's safe to relax and to calm down while we're in these different positions. So we're giving our brain a transition from maintaining vigilance at work, from monitoring for safety, handling situations, giving ourselves a transition period so that our body allows itself to relax. Great. Take it to the other side. You can come down to your hands and knees in between. You don't have to show off and kick one leg out at a time. Everybody's body is different and has different mobility. Even every day, some days I have more mobility than others. So notice first if this side is different. So I feel a little bit more stretch on the front of my right hip than I did on the front of my left hip. So I may not want to scoot my foot quite as far forward as I did on the other side. Remember, hands can brace here on the thigh, or you can rest your hand on a wall or a bed if you need it for balance. And then gently leaning into it, allowing a stretch through the front of the right thigh now. And remember, we're not forcing anything here. Part of what's allowing our body to relax and move into the rest and restore parasympathetic nervous system is that we're not forcing. So in order to get the most out of this in terms of relaxation, it's important that we take it slowly and that we're gentle with our bodies, because that is what's sending the signal of safety to relax to our brain. One more breath here. And come back to center. Come back down to a nice, comfortable seat. Consistency helps more than intensity here. Okay. Figure 4 release. This is a really nice hip release. We're going to come back down onto our back again. Knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. Feet are on the floor. You can pick whichever leg you want first. We're going to do both sides. First, I'm going to take my right foot and stick my heel up towards the ceiling. I'm going to bend the right knee and place the right ankle on top of the left thigh. This might be plenty of stretch for you. Notice where you feel it in your body. Everybody's hips are a little bit different, so you're going to feel sensation in a different place than I might. So in general, with this stretch, we'll feel some sensation on the outside of the hip. You might feel some on the inside of the hip. You might feel some along the quad here. Something that we want to pay attention to for safety is if you feel any pain in your knee, then you need to relax and take less pressure. Pain is a messenger. It lets us know that we need to back off so we don't hurt ourselves. So sensation and stretching is good. Tension is okay. But anytime there's pain, just immediately back off and let your body relax. We're going for rest and recover here. So we want to avoid signaling to our body that we're in any kind of danger, and pain is a danger signal. So in order for us to effectively relax, we've got to be gentle with our body and make sure we're not sending it any signals that tell it to wake up and respond and pay attention. Now, if you have rather open hips, you might like some more sensation here. And if that's the case, you can take your hands. You're going to thread them together, but behind your left thigh. So left foot comes up, and we'll pretend that we're sticking the left foot on the far wall, holding our legs up. And if you'd like even more sensation than that, if you've got quite a lot of mobility, you can start bringing your left knee in closer to your chest. You'll get a deeper stretch in the right outer hip. Great. Now remember what we talked about for pain. Stretching is good. A little intensity is okay, but pain means back off, let your body relax and recover. Keeping our toes and our feet flexed here in this position. Just light engagement there. One more breath in, wherever you are. Now exhale, left foot comes down to the ground. Right foot uncrosses, and we'll take the other side. This time, left heel reaches all the way up towards the ceiling. Left heel crosses over the right knee. And once again, this might be just enough for you. You may notice that your left and your right hip are very different, and that's okay. That's completely normal. We all tend to shift weight into one side or another while we're standing. So one of your hips will likely be a lot tighter than the other, particularly if you don't regularly stretch them out. Same cues here for comfort and stretch and pain. Remember, if you feel any sharp or pulling or pinching sensations, anything that's pain, we want to back off immediately. Make sure we're giving our body the right signals to relax. Nice, deep, slow breaths here. And if you'd like a little more sensation, same thing here. Fingers can interlace behind the right thigh. Right thigh comes closer to the chest. Right foot pretends it's stamping up against the wall, nice and flexed. Feeling a deep stretch through the left hip. One more deep breath in here. And release. Right foot comes back down to the mat. Left foot uncrosses. And we'll bring it back up to a seated position. Take another easy breath here. Maybe rocking slightly side to side. Maybe staying still tonight feels better. Notice how the side body feels here as we rock back and forth. Maybe one side feels dramatically tighter. That's very normal. Okay. Next, we'll take a gentle hamstring stretch. Shifting to the side, we'll extend one leg out comfortably. The other leg can stay bent in. So in this side, I've got my right leg out, left is in. We're going to gently fold forward, hinging slightly towards the right. You're going to feel some sensation on the inner thigh here and the low hamstring. And remember what we talked about for sensation. A little stretch is good. Some mild to moderate intensity is just fine. But as we're trying to demonstrate to our body that it's safe to relax, let go of the stress and the tension we've been carrying and move into our rest and digest and recover part of the day, we want to make sure that we avoid any pain sensations. So be gentle with yourself here. Great. One more breath in. And exhale. Let's take it to the other side. Pilots often experience a combination of tight hamstrings and compressed lower backs. It's from the prolonged sitting posture. So dynamic movement may feel really supportive here. Maybe flexing or pointing the toe during your stretch feels good. Okay, switch sides. Now left foot is extended, right foot's in. Taking a breath in, extending the spine, and then exhale gently, leaning forward. Once again, feeling sensation in the left inner thigh and the hamstring. Gentle stretching here. You may also feel some stretching in the QLs in the lower back. Notice if you're hunching your shoulders up towards your ears. See if you can relax them down. Great. One more deep breath in here. And release. Great. Coming to a low back release. Moving down onto the back again. We're just going to hug our knees into the chest. Noticing the sensation in the low back as we're pulling our knees in. This is not a position we often get into in the cockpit. Can feel nice to take a little pressure off of the low back. Give the quads a break. Great. Maybe rocking gently side to side. Noticing the sensation in your hips, your hip flexors as you move the knees gently side to side. Great. Coming back up to a seated position. We'll do a little bit of work with our thoracic spine. Sitting up nice and tall, we'll interlace the fingers like this, but behind our back. Gently lift through the chest. If interlacing the fingers behind you is not accessible, that's okay. You can put your hands beside you and lift through the chest this way. Also, hands on the hips, lifting through the chest. Hands behind you, leaning back to lift through the chest. Find a position that gives you the most access to feeling open and the least amount of strain. Cockpit posture often creates upper back stiffness because we're just focused looking forward and we really have limited movement variability. So here we're helping the thoracic spine and the chest reopen gradually. No rigid posture correction, just creating a little space. Take another easy breath here, feeling the opening through the collarbones. Slowly release. Great. Release the hands, shake them out. Now we'll take a little bit of gentle core activation. So staying in our seated position, we'll gently engage the lower abdominal muscles slightly as we exhale. You can imagine what it might feel like if somebody was swinging like they were going to punch you in the chest. You engage the stomach here, right? To brace yourself. So just very gently here, we don't want to wrap ourselves all the way in, just a gentle light tightening around the center of the body. Then release completely and let the belly come out. Great. Again, just tiny activation here, bringing the core in. This training in small movements for core endurance is sometimes more helpful than the really intense training because the goal is support, not strain. Release. A few more slow repetitions here. You'll notice over time that you can hold the core engagement for a longer duration the more you practice. Pulling in. Great. Breathing naturally. And release. Okay. Next, we're going to elevate the legs, something that we really don't get to do a lot in the cockpit. So coming back down onto the back, bringing both heels all the way up towards the ceiling. Great. This is legs up the wall pose. So if you've got a wall next to you, you're more than welcome to use it. It can be quite nice to relax. Allow the lower body to soften fully here. So pay attention to your hips. Our long duty days can often leave the hips and low back feeling simultaneously tired and strained and fatigued. Just a little bit of everything. So we're creating conditions for recovery instead of for effort now. Maybe place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly and allow the breath to settle naturally. Breathing in and out here. Notice where your legs are in relation to your hips. Notice that if you move the heels forward a little bit, it requires some core engagement, right? Right now, we're looking to relax. So bring those legs in closer to the face and release that core. Nice soft belly. Good. One more breath in here and out. All right. Coming back up to a seated position. Taking your crisscross applesauce seat. Maybe we switch the legs to the other side. Weird leg in front. Sitting up nice and tall, close your eyes and just take a moment to notice. Take a moment to evaluate. How does your body feel now? How does that compare to how it felt when you began this? How do your hips feel? Are they a little bit less compressed? Maybe not. Maybe this just brought to your attention that you have a lot of tension. Maybe this is just the beginning of an exercise sequence for you. Or maybe you're exhausted and you're going to drift off to a peaceful sleep after this. No judgment. We're just noticing. Notice what it's like to be in your body in this moment. Notice the change. Your actions matter. The little moments count. So how does your body feel different now than it did when we began? Great. Allow your body to feel supported instead of responsible. You're finished with that part. Okay. Take one slow inhale and one easy exhale. Maybe the spine feels more spacious. Maybe you simply interrupted a tension pattern before carrying it on into another day. And that matters too. Allow the shoulders to soften naturally away from the ears. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up today. And that's the end of our practice. Thank you so much for sharing a part of your day with me. I'll see you next time.